What is up, MFers? So freaking excited for today. If you guys followed along a couple days ago, I put the video out announcing that I am starting a series of online fishing tournaments. The reason for that, all the live weigh-in tournaments across the country, the large majority have been canceled due to the coronavirus outbreak. Well, the good news is about the online fishing tournaments is we don't have to have the large public crowds and gatherings and everything. We can do it all online. Today's tournament is the very first tournament, the Quarantine Open #1, part of the Slaunchmaster Scramble series that I'll be putting on. As you can see right back behind me, got old Black Betty tied up, got a beautiful little public body of water. That's one of the stipulations. This is a 5 bass limit tournament, all by length, and it has to be in a public body of water. It's gonna be the same rules on all these. You can fish from the bank, you can fish from the boat, the kayak, john boat, float tube, ice fishing, whatever you wanna do. Has to be artificial lures only though. But yeah, tournament hours officially start in about a half an hour. I'm gonna get the boat launched, get out there, talk to you guys a little bit more, and then hopefully start swinging. Okay, got the boat launched, ready to freaking go. Only thing we're waiting on is the 8 o'clock start time. It's 7:47 right now, so we got a couple minutes. Now, when I scrolled through the comments on the last video where I announced this tournament series, one recurring thing I kept seeing was that you guys wanted this tournament to be on a weekend day. Now, like I told you in the video, I put it on a Thursday today because I kept seeing all these people out during the week now with this quarantine stuff, so I thought it'd be cool to put on a Thursday. But the next one, tentatively, it should be scheduled by now, but I'm gonna have it next Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, April 18th. Same exact format, nationwide, bank fishing, boat fishing, everything in between, ice fishing, even if you still got ice up north, artificial lures only. So I'll put a link down to register, so hopefully we'll have a much bigger turnout. But today's turnout, 107 anglers. I'm so freaking jacked. Thank you so much for everyone that's gonna participate in this. And yeah, I think it's about time to get this show on the road once it's 8 o'clock. Starting with this little flat-sided square bill crankbait. For those of you guys that saw my attire in the intro here, a little bit different. We had a major cold front come in. It's been in the 70s and even 80s here in Nebraska. Well, today and last night it got down to 20s. Today, the high's only in the 40s and the wind's supposed to blow 35 miles an hour. So I don't know what that's gonna do to the bite. I'm thinking some of the fish that were kind of up feeding on the docks and stuff I caught last week, those fish likely have hopefully moved into some of this chunkier rock and we could target them really, really efficiently with this orange sexy guy. You'll see me throw this flat 75 brown eye special a whole lot today. And 8 o'clock, let's do this. There we go. There we go. Ooh, that's a good one too. That's a good one. Came up and gulped that flat 75. Good little starter guy. Get the net out for today with this crankbait. There we go. All right. Long and skinny, that's the type we want today, guys. Just started the day. That was a total pressure bite, just a mush bite, and I don't care. I'll take whatever type of bites, as long as they're bites. Look at that long, skinny guy. Not very impressive, but hey, that'll work today. All right, let's get this guy scored. Close his mouth. Tail goes to 18 inches on the money. I always complain about these length tournaments, by length tournaments, because I'm more interested in how much they weigh, but we're stuck with doing the length tournaments today. Obviously with the online, not everyone's scales could be accurate and the same. But that guy worked out well for me because he was 18 and he wasn't fat at all. He probably wasn't even 3 pounds. I do think it's gonna take over 100 inches to win today though. There's a lot of good fish being caught around the country. So hopefully we can call that guy out. But for now, you bet. There we go, another one. Good one. Good one, right on the point. Right where he was supposed to be. Look worth the shit. Yep, there we go. Not a mega giant, but another good starter fish. That's a fatter one there. That's a weigh-in fish there. That's not a length fish. Woo! Then I about fell down. All right. He was a fighter. He was not a size fish, but again, another right at 18. He does not make 18 and a quarter. All right. Thanks for playing, buddy. Another 18. We are 36 inches in. So I want to show you guys where that fish was sitting. There's this line of riprap right here the whole way, which isn't a very impressive line of riprap. I mean, it's just regular white limestone rock. But then we got this little bulge. That's where this guy was sitting. Nice little change and rock. And of course, that's usually where the big ones are. Now, we haven't caught a mega giant yet or anything, but 2 18-inch ones are good today in the first 20 minutes or half hour. What is it? Yeah, it's 8:28 right now. I'm happy with that. It's kind of telling me that these fish will still bite. And I fished this lake last week and I couldn't get a bite hardly on riprap. So good to see they're on it. Everything I caught last week was on docks flipping. Really shallow, but that was totally different conditions. That was a super warm afternoon. Wasn't much wind or anything. These cold front, flat 75, steeper, chunkier riprap banks should be the ticket. But we're gonna go check those docks here after we fish a couple more of these spots. What do we got here? Ooh, a good bass, I guess. I'll catch it. God, that one ate it so funky. It's not as big as we need him to be, but another basic guy. Hey, basic guy. Sweet. Flat 75, riprap. Let's go. Get him measured and back in quick. He ain't a donkey sore, but I like him nonetheless. Another one of them fat ones that are better for weigh tournaments. This guy's a damn football. 17.5-inch football. 17.5. Not the big we need, but the big we deserve. That was a Batman reference. All right, let's check the standings after that guy. Shoot. Tony's over there. Does he have 3? He does have 3. Tony, my buddy's got 3. I've got 3. My 3 are 3.5 inches bigger. Ryan Evers has, okay, at least he has 4. 63 inches are leading it. We're in third, I think. And Tony's in second, which is funny because Tony's here. He's got an 18.5. Neither of us have yet to catch a big one yet, though, so we'll see how that goes. There we go. Not a big one, but he is scoreable. So far, every fish been on that flat 75 crankbait, so we're gonna keep that in our hand for a little bit, that's for sure. All right, bud. Thanks for playing. All right, we got 4 out of our 5 for the limit. It's going decent. We probably took the lead there too. Standings say, hey, we're in first place. But we got a lot of work to do. But it's always good to be catching. We could have 0. There we go. Okay. Look at this little peckerhead. I think they got to be 14 inches to keep. I'm not even going to measure him. I think we can do better for our 5th one, since we got to do better for all of them. Well, we got 4 in the box and we are officially in the lead in the inaugural Slaunch Master Scramble Quarantine Open Series. Now, it might seem like we're freaking smashing them, but I don't think we've caught one yet that is that needs to be in our 5 if we have a chance to actually win this thing against some of the southern boys with some of those long Florida strain bass. So we're gonna mix things up here. We're gonna go flip some docks. It's a little bit early for it probably, but the water might be warmer back in this pocket. This place where I'm about to go right now is either gonna be hit or miss, and then we're gonna get back to cranking some of that riprap. But so far, I'm happy with it. We're catching fish, we're having a good time. Time to get some bigs. There we go. There we go. Come on, big girl. She ain't that big. She's hooked kind of funky. Ooh, she's pretty big. That's our biggest one. She's hooked on the outside of the face. Thank you. Hello, big girl. God, look at that freaking football. That's one you definitely want in a weigh-in tournament and not in a length tournament like today. And she about got me. Look how fat that fish is. Fat and short. That's a 4.5 pounder and not freaking long, but whatever. Once again, we'll take them. We'll take whatever we can get. Well, she's 19 inches. That's the fattest damn 19-inch fish I've about ever seen. Just spent the last while flipping docks. That didn't work out too well for us, but now we know. Big fish of the bag so far. Look at that belly. Came up and chewed that flat 75. All right, dock flipping. Had a couple just baby bites. Nothing crazy. I don't know if we're gonna be doing much of that the rest of the day. Wind is really starting to pick up. It's probably about a straight 20 right now. We're out of it a little bit, so it's still supposed to pick up. Went over, tried to do some dock flip and try to catch a big one. And I don't know, this just seems like what we should be doing today. Hour and a half total of the morning so far, and we've got 6 fish, 5 of them keepers. Just pulled up to this bank right here, more riprap. Wind's obviously blowing, but this is an out of the wind spot-ish. We still got a good amount of wind hitting these rocks, and that's what I look for this time of year. Let's see if we're anywhere near the top with that guy. Hey, there we are, 87.5. We're back at the top. Ryan Evers, good work today, man. He had the lead there for a second, but 87 inches with our 5 fish. We got a lot of work to do, guys. There we go. Oh, we lost him. Damn, that one freaking smashed it. Damn it. There we go. Look at this guy, just biting at the boat guy. I like it. He might cull up a little bit. He ain't gonna do a ton for us though. 16 1/4, nothing crazy, but that is an upgrade. There we go. There we go. Is this the right one? It's a decent one. Come here, bud. I don't know if that's an upgrade for us or not. Another fat one. 16 1/4. Let's make sure with our live well here. Yeah, 16 1/4 is our small Juan. So like that doesn't help, but hey, cool fish. Glad to see they're eating the crank still. There we go. There we go. That's a decent one. Right in the side of the face. Damn fish are too freaking fat. They're not long enough. It's a good fish and he ain't gonna help us. Oh yeah, he might help us. Yeah, he'll help us. 17 1/4. You bet. Get a little marker guy in there. Well, Mr. Super Ultra Fat 17 1/4 guy. Thanks for playing, bud. What are we up to? Let's look at the standings. We are not in first anymore. Baron Meek has 90.5 inches. Baron, yeah, he's got a good bag. He's got some small ones in there too, 15, 16. We got some work to do, guys. We are 3/4 of an inch behind Baron. So we need some bigs. Oh, don't you come off, big girl. Yes. It's a long one at least. That will definitely help us. Thank you for being long, bud. 18 1/2. Sweet. Another upgrade. 18 1/2. Let's keep the train rolling. Mr. Flat 75 is doing work today. We're out of the wind a little bit. I haven't done a very good job of telling you guys what I'm doing exactly, but basically we got like just the perfect watercolor. It's about, I don't know, about a foot visibility maybe. That's when this dude excels, but I caught this guy on the point right here, and I've just been covering water, getting very, very parallel to this riprap, whether it be point or just a bank. Points especially are good right now. Wind has been blowing like crazy today and the last several days, so I think the water is stained. It was like 3 foot, 4 foot visibility last time I was here, so it was no bueno for the old Flat 75 and the brown eye special color, which is, you know, obviously not a very natural color, very orange. But yeah, the way they're eating this guy today, don't really plan on putting it down. I don't think I'll flip anything else the rest of the day. It's just gonna be all about covering water. Most of this lake's so blown out with wind, it's about impossible to fish right now. It has picked up substantially, but I just need to get this guy. God dang it. Oh, he's on still. Sweet. It's not gonna help us, but fun fish as I'm talking to you guys. I need to get this thing in front of some of the 21, potentially even 22-inch fish that live in this lake, which isn't always an easy task. But I'm getting a lot of bites, catching a lot of fish, having a lot of fun. There we go. There we go. That's a big one. Ah, she's just hooked funny. I think she'll help us though. Another freaking blimp guy. Man, at least we're doing some damn work today. I don't know if we're gonna win this thing. We're catching so many 3 to 4 pound fish though. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna help. She was just hooked funky, so she was taking me out to sea when she bit. That is a 17 and a half. I don't think that helps us, but just to be sure, let's take a look at the app. 17 and a half is my smallest. Can I? No, you won't go to 17 3/4. Another 17 and a half. I'm cursed. That's okay. I'll take that curse any day. There's another one. There's another one. I don't think that would have helped us. That was about the same size, but it was long. Shoot. Little piddly guy. Come on, be a biggin. Be a biggin. Ah! Just a little guy, hooked stupid. He's not that little, but he ain't gonna work for us today. That's a fatty. He's just not 17 and a half inches. Right weight, wrong length. Nice fish though, 3-pounder. Are you f***ing kidding me? Haha, look at that. That's fantastic. It's funny because I don't throw this color. I don't know if I ever have thrown this color at this lake, but look what I just got snagged on. Another flat 75, except this one's in Shad Fantasy. That might be my coolest catch of the day. I caught a flat 75 on a flat 75. Mean guy. Not a long guy though. Another one. That's a lot of fish on one bait. I could have just come with one rod today apparently. Huh, I don't think I've ever even caught a fish right here before. A lot of the stuff I had fished generally is just completely blown out by the wind. The wind's blowing like 30 straight into it, so we're kind of out of the wind a little bit right here. Come on, bud. Snuck that one out. All right, good time on the water today. Just getting things wrapped up right now. It's a little bit after 2 o'clock. It was kind of crazy. Never caught a big one today, but caught the shit out of like the 3 to 4 pound fish, and smaller than that too. Every single fish I caught was on the 6-inch flat 75. Absolute killer. Next up now though, we're gonna head home and check out what the final results are, the standings and everything. Everything's unofficial right now. One thing we gotta make sure of is everyone used a proper measuring board. They used that identifier that they had to use to make sure that it was a catch that was today and everything. And of course, make sure they were on public water and all that too. But once we get that figured out, I'll catch you guys at home. Okay, back home now, guys. Awesome tournament. Had a blast sitting here, verifying catches, going over the leaderboard, who won, who's getting the payouts and everything. First off, I want to say thank you so much for everyone who went out and competed in this. This was the first event. It was on a Thursday in the middle of the week. A lot of people are still working and everything, so to have over 100 people sign up for this very first tournament, seriously can't tell you guys how much I appreciate that. As far as the tournament from my side of things, freaking awesome time. Wind was ripping. There was gusts of over 50 miles an hour. I don't have a whole lot to say other than I threw the flat 75 crankbait almost exclusively the entire tournament. I tried flipping a little bit, had some really soft light bites, but I couldn't get that flat 75 out of my hand. Kept thinking over and over I was going to get that 20, 21 inch, 22 inch fish. And I think some of them bit. So there was some that just threw so much slack in the line, hit it so hard, just flat out didn't get hooked. If you guys live somewhere where you fish a lot of shallow riprap, especially in the pre-spawn period, that bait is my all-time favorite bait. Maybe my favorite crankbait that I've ever used. I'll link it down below. Threw it on a 7.2 medium heavy moderate fast Lux, 6-inch Lux crankbait rod. That's the same action and power as my Milliken fishing one, except I believe that one's out of stock. Lux is the one that I based that rod model off of in my series. Awesome rod. And then of course you guys probably noticed too the different sound of the reel. I was using that the new Shimano SLX DC reel. Absolutely amazing in that wind. It was the first day I'd ever used that reel, and I don't work with Shimano or anything, but I'll link that down below as well for you guys to check out. All right, so let's get to the tournament, going through the results and everything. It's awesome how many fish were caught on a Thursday in April. It was freaking awesome. Looks like we had 222 fish caught by 80 different anglers. So almost everyone in the field caught fish. There was a ton of limits brought in. Now, unfortunately, I did have to disqualify and deny some of these fish catches, which I'm going to explain why in just a second. And then I'm going to explain and go through some of the proper measuring methods for some future tournaments because I already do have one scheduled, MFers. So let's get to the results real quick. I don't know how it was possible with 91 inches but I did manage to win the tournament. So freaking crazy. I can't believe it. I caught so many fish that were, my biggest was 19 inches, my smallest was 17.5 inches. They were all about that size. And these were super fat pre-spawn fish, except for one that I weighed, I think, or measured, that is. But I threw back so many, like 3.5 to 4 pound fish that were only 17 inches. It was crazy. Just couldn't get a longer fish, but I can't believe it. Actually won with 91 inches. Something I thought I should mention about that I think is kind of funny. There was some guys that messaged me and said, I'm not going to enter that tournament because all the Southern boys are just going to win that with 110 inches or something like that. Well, guess what? We won it here in Omaha, Nebraska, and made me happy. I did it not far from my house. I decided to fish what's probably the most pressured lake in Nebraska, and it turned out freaking great. Second place, Baron Meek with 90.5 inches. So I only beat Baron by a ½ inch. We were going back and forth all day. Looks like his biggest was 20 inches, smallest was 15.5, but he had 3 that were between 19 and 20 inches. So great fish. Third place, Chuck Wise, 89.5 inches. So he was just 1 inch behind Baron. And fourth place was Ryan Evers, 87.75 inches. So obviously telling you guys about the top 4 guys, that's important because I told you at the start of this, I'm not going to take any money, any prize money for if I would cash a check or win the tournament. And we're paying out 3 spots. So the first place money is going to go to Baron Meek. Second place money is going to go to Chuck Wise. And third place money is going to go to Ryan Evers. So congratulations to those guys. Also, Tony Semino, my friend, is right there in 5th place. He was actually fishing the same lake I was. So a lot of fish caught in the same lake. So let's get into some of these submissions just so I can kind of reiterate some of the rules as far as submitting photos to be measured. So let's kind of go through some of these fish real quick. So let's just check out let's check this fish out. So this is a fish from a gentleman that I didn't get to. I'm not going to verify every single catch in the whole tournament. Most likely I'm just going to go through and verify only what's necessary for the people that cash checks. But let's go through. This is a catch right here that absolutely is legal. Submitted by Billy Jenham. He has everything in order, so he has the correct board. Most importantly, has the correct board, which I'm not sure which brand this is, but it's a rigid, hard board. It's curved in the middle. It's got a clear stopping point at the front, which they call a fence. And let's talk about the fish placement. So his hand is over the middle of the fish, which is where it has to be. You can't have your hand near the tail. You can't have it near the face. So his hand's over the middle of the fish. He's got his SSQ1 identifier, which I sent out to all participants the night before. And the fish's mouth is closed. It's clearly touching the front fence there. And I can zoom in and see, looks like the tip of the top part of the tail there, that tail fin, goes over the 19.25 inch mark. So let's go down here, submitted the length, 19.25 inches. We'd go down here and boom, accepted. You guys can feel free to kind of go look through some of mine. Let's take a look let's just take a look at this one real quick. So as you guys can see, my hand wasn't on this fish right here, but it doesn't have to be on the fish. The fish is clearly flat on the board. Mouth is touching the fence. Tail is right over that line, which is the 18-inch line. You can see it's touching or hanging over a little bit. SSQ1 identifier right there. And length 18 inches. So that is a verified catch. Let's do one more. Let's go to Baron Meeks. He is the gentleman who got first place money in the tournament. There's his fish right there. As you can see, mouth is shut. Mouth has to be either closed. Sometimes when you lay a fish down and push it all the way to the front, the mouth just hangs open for whatever reason. But the mouth can't be more than 1/4 inch open. So very, very small gap, if any gap. You're going to see a tiny gap in most fish, which you can see here. But mouth is as close as possible, touching the board. No hands over the tail or the face. He's got his SSQ1 identifier over here. Then let's zoom in on his tail. Touches right, just hangs just over the 20-inch mark. So I would call that a 20-inch fish. Let's see what he said. Again, 20 inches right there, boom. Now let me show you guys, there was an angler that had the largest length in this tournament, but unfortunately I had to disqualify this angler's catches. And there were several reasons for this, but let me show you some of these reasons for this. So here's the fish and here's the board that was used. Now it was stated very, very clear in the rules which boards you could use, and you have to use a rigid board. So a solid board, a solid plastic board with a fence on the end. So looking at these pictures that this angler submitted, they have the identifier and everything up here. But it's clear, you can see the waves in this, that it's a measuring tape. Now, this angler, I don't think did it on purpose or anything like that, but I can't have that. I can't let that fly loose, wavy tape, because that could just be crinkled up under the fish. So that has to be disqualified for that reason. Also, if you want to look up at the fish, the mouth is clearly open. There's the fence right there. I can't tell if it's touching or not. It's not a very clear picture. It's taken on grass, which I understand. You got to take pictures like that sometimes when you're bank fishing, but the board also doesn't have quarter or half-inch marks. It's just 1-inch mark. Let's look at another one of these fish. So again, on this next picture, you can see the wavy tape back behind the fish there. Identifier is good, but you got wavy tape back behind there, so just not a measuring board that's possible to use. You look up here to the fish's mouth. It is shut properly, but it's not touching the fence there. It's not a catch that I can verify and have submitted. You have to use the proper board as outlined in the rules of the tournament. So that's what I'm looking for to deny these fish or accept these fish that are submitted to the tournament. I don't want to be a dickhead and have to do this to a bunch of people. We're out here doing this for fun, but there is a decent amount of money involved in this, and it wouldn't be fair to everyone else that clearly read the rules, that had the proper measuring device, measured them the right way, if I just let that slide. So in the future, that's what I'm looking for. Now, just to make sure it was the right thing to do to deny and disqualify these catches, I reached out to the owner of Tourney X, as well as 2 other gentlemen that run substantial kayak tournaments in the area, and all 3 of them echoed the same sentiment, that I definitely have to disqualify the catches. You cannot let this slide, or else it will cause problems in future tournaments with people trying to use different boards and different methods to cheat, or just not follow the rules. So that's exactly what I ended up doing. So yeah, very first Launchmaster Scramble Quarantine Open number 1 is in the books. Next one coming up, this upcoming April 18th. We're gonna look on I'll link it down below. Look at the rules. I'm gonna do the same rules on everything. You can fish anywhere you want as long as it's a public body of water. And trust me, I can see where you caught your fish. So no trying to cheat there, please. Like I told you guys, so many of you guys wanted to see this tournament on a weekend so you'd be able to fish. Seemed like that was the most commented thing that we got. So if you're one of those people, I'd love to see you in the event. Again, anyone can fish it. Just largemouth bass, spotted bass, smallmouth bass. Has to be 12 inches to measure. It's going to be best 5 fish lengthwise. Please go out and purchase the proper board. Don't give me anything with a measuring tape or anything like that. Read the rules to see what boards work out, and we won't have any issues with that. But I look forward to seeing you guys. Let me know what you want to see change moving forward. I'm thinking about some t-shirts for this event too. Let me know if you would buy a Launchmaster Scramble Quarantine t-shirt for the event. Awesome time here. Over 100 anglers that were a part of this. Hopefully we can see more next time. But thanks so much for watching this one, Mathers.